Welcome back to the GIST English Masterclass. Today, we're going to tackle something that's, well, it can be a little tricky, but is absolutely essential for sounding natural in English. I'm talking about phrasal verbs. You hear them everywhere, especially at work, so getting a handle on them is a game changer. Ready? Let's dive in.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, we'll talk about why these things can be so tough. Then we're going to break down 5 really common ones you'll hear all the time. And to wrap it all up, I'll give you a super simple strategy to help you learn them for good. All right, first up, the phrasal verb problem. So let's get right into it. What exactly makes these things so tricky for English learners? You know that feeling, right? Where you're reading a sentence, you look at it, and you think, I know every single word here, but I have no idea what it means. Has that ever happened to you? Well, chances are the culprit is a phrasal verb. So what is a phrasal verb anyway? It's basically a team-up. A normal verb gets together with a little word like up, off, or on. But here's the catch. When they team up, they create a brand new meaning. A meaning that you usually can't guess just by looking at the parts. It's like magic. One tiny word can change the entire meaning of the verb. Let's look at our first example to see what I mean. Okay, let's decode our first one. Look up. This is a fantastic example because it shows just how different the meanings can be. So look up can be literal, right? You just raise your eyes. He looked up at the ceiling. Super simple. But, and this is the important part for work, it usually means something totally different. It means to search for information. You might say, I need to look up that legal term. You're not looking at the sky, you're going to search for it, probably on Google or in a book. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Watch this. If we just add one more tiny word, to, we get look up to. And suddenly, the meaning changes completely. To look up to someone means you admire or respect them. For example, many junior employees look up to their manager. That's a really powerful phrase to use in a professional setting, isn't it? All right, next up, we've got a classic pair that often trips people up. Put on versus put off. They look so similar, but they're basically opposites.
Let's break this down. Put on is what you do with clothes or accessories. Please put on your badge. Simple. But put off, that means to postpone or delay something. We had to put off the meeting. So think about it this way. You put on your jacket to go outside, but you put off doing your homework because you don't want to do it. See? Totally different ideas.
Okay, get ready for a busy one. Our next phrasal verb, take off, is a real workhorse. It has so many different meanings, you'll hear it pop up in all kinds of conversations, from the office to the airport. I mean, just look at how many jobs this one phrase can do. First, you can take off your tie. That's the opposite of put on, right? Then you've got planes. Our flight takes off at 7:45. But wait, there's more. If a business suddenly becomes really successful, you can say, her business really took off. You can also use it to say you're leaving in a hurry, like, sorry, I have to take off now. And finally, a super useful one for work, taking time away. I am taking Friday off. See? One phrase, 5 different meanings.
All right, let's move on to our final pair of examples, backup and makeup. These two are absolute must-knows for any professional environment.
Okay, backup. This one is all about support and safety. First, you can back up your argument with data. That means you're supporting it with facts. Then there's the one we all need to do, back up your files. You're making a safe copy, right? And you can also back up a person. If you say, thanks for backing me up in the meeting, you mean thanks for supporting me. And of course, it can be literal, like moving backwards, or what happens when traffic gets delayed. So many uses.
And what about make up? Well, this one has a few key jobs. It can mean to invent something, like when someone made up an excuse. It can also mean to reconcile after a fight, to become friends again. The two colleagues made up. But there's a really important meaning for business and reports, to constitute or form a part of something. For instance, women make up 60% of the class. And you might also hear it used to mean compensate for something, like to make up for the delay.
Okay,
So we've seen a bunch of examples, but the big question is, how do you actually get these to stick in your brain? That's what this last section is all about. But before I give you the strategy, let's see how all these words sound in a real, natural conversation.
Imagine a manager talking to an analyst. The manager might say,
And the analyst could reply,
then the manager adds, see, in just a few short lines we used look up, back up, put off, and take off. They just flow right into the conversation. That's the goal. Now, before we get to that learning strategy, here's a quick tip to avoid a really common mistake. People sometimes mix up put off and take off. Remember, you never put off your jacket. That would mean you postpone wearing it. You take off your jacket when you remove it, and you put on your jacket when you wear it. Getting that right is a huge step. And here's a little cheat sheet for you. This table pulls together all the key meanings we talked about today. It's a really good one to take a screenshot of for a quick review later. So what's the secret to actually learning these things? Well, here it is, a simple 4-step plan. First, don't just learn the verb, learn the whole phrase. So not just look, but look up to someone. Second, make sure you know its different meanings. And this is the most important part. Step 3, learn it in context. Find one example you'd use at work and one you'd use in your everyday life. That's the key. That's how you connect the words to your actual life, and it's how you really start sounding natural. And now it's your turn. Because listening to me is great, but the real learning happens when you start using the language. So, my challenge to you is this. Which phrasal verb from today's class are you going to use in a sentence today? Go on, give it a try. That's how you make them your own. Thanks so much for joining me for this class. See you in the next class.